thanks to my production team. I'll pretend that this is my first time. Greeting everybody. Hello, good morning. I am Silmi from Blackgates Inc. And I have with me Khalil Nooh from Mesolitica. And we are here today to talk about the Malaysian AI marketing landscape. Tapi, just to warm up, okay, maybe a quick comment about the astronomer meme that has been going around, just to warm up the audience a little bit.
Okay, so
what is your view on what is the impact of that on AI?
Okay, so we gossiped a bit earlier, but what I noticed was, okay, so in the case of Sharma, it became a viral moment. It is a negative viral moment for the couple, right? I mean, two couples are involved, kan? But the
So
creativity.
They said Coldplay released 4 singles in one night.
Correct, exactly. But what people did with it, using AI tools, the original image, giblify, amplify, and then create memes with their own messaging, their own narrative, and then they run with it. So something that is negative turn positive for either the brand, a personal brand, their own narrative, or their own business. So there are some those do it for PSA purposes, but some just purely for business. It's very creative.
Which was your favorite meme? Ada banyak-banyak yang keluar tu.
I think there's one PSA from Facebook group rumah tangga lah. It was talking about why husbands should always hug their wife. Yeah, so they put all the. It was a nice PSA lah, touch to it. I like that.
I didn't come across that. I saw the one with Elmo and Miss Piggy. So I thought that was really cute. Elmo was hugging Miss Piggy. Okay, back to the topic. Okay, so what I'd like you to kick off with is maybe a very quick recap of how the AI scene has been in Malaysia. What you've seen over the past 2 years, maybe, as something where things have gone on a little bit of a hyperdrive, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, sure. So before the 2 years, I will also touch on our original Mesolitica. We before the Malam Malaysia language model too, we have Malaya. So Malaya is a natural language processing (NLP) toolkit to do sentiment analysis of local languages. So mainly social media, comments and content. We use this prior to Mesolitica for PRU or general election purposes. Okay, so taking it for PRU 14.
14.
14. Yeah.
So 2 elections ago.
2 elections ago, right. So then Mesolitica was formed on the basis of, there's this whole thing happening in the States called Cambridge Analytica. So our origin name comes from that, Media Social Analytica, Mesolitica. Okay. So fast forward to ChatGPT moment at the end of 2022, early 2023. It's the ability for anybody to interact or use this LLM or AI to create high quality content, very creative, if you provide this the proper context. Okay, so now everybody can become a super copywriter just by saying you are an expert copywriter, and then you put all your context, and voila, you have a long copywriting content. And if you just put another for social media, then the entire article fills up with emojis. So this is like flooded the scene, but it was manually done, right? You interact with ChatGPT to your liking, and you copy paste. A lot of Gen AI startups tried to and continue to try to build this as a standalone app, for very specific targets. So this is where I would say the current pace now. Then 2035, it's how to combine this article generation or copywriting generation as the final output, but there is a step by step to get to the place where each article is high quality, because the ultimate goal here is the content. The content, from where I see it right now, the content that you publish is not for human to read. It is for the AI to read. Yes, this is what I'm thinking right now.
So in very quick 2 minutes, you loaded in a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff, correct.
A lot of stuff. Basically, generative. Okay, can we say that as far as our Malaysian audience is concerned, that generative is now mainstream?
Yes.
Okay, that means everybody has used some form of LLM, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, we use Claude a lot, DeepSeek. Okay, so as we can notice, everybody knows that these are all foreign companies. All right, does it matter that these are all foreign companies?
Does it matter that this for adoption's sake? Doesn't matter. It's just like we just take the tool and then we create the value that we need to create at scale. Like the someone on one said just now, kan, do more with less. Exactly that lah. Okay? And then we need to compete with either as a startup, as a small brand, as an SME. How do you create this content to grab attention in this now AI powered world? Kan? Just like the comment pasal asrama tadi kan, even though it was a negative news, people are using it creatively to create the content for that moment because it has become a viral, it can become a meme. Then you can like insert your brand into the conversation just like that. Kan? So 2-3 years ago, a lot of the big brands in the States for social media accounts, they always like to do this. Like there's a viral news, and then suddenly the official brand page tu hop on into the conversation and just tambah perasa je kan. But that's now what I see more for individual lah.
Obviously, you need to have a team, you need to have the graphic designers and
Back then.
Yeah, back then. Now it's just one dude clicking.
Yeah, just like a nicely prompt on your favorite image generator or kalau in the case of video, Midjourney ataupun VO3 Gemini, siap boleh buat a short 30-second clip for your stories kan? Yeah.
So,
sorry. And then on the comment of the whole people using the apps in Malaysia, for me, one sign is that we see a lot of the Sifu AI in the market, jual courses and all that. So for me, it's a good signal lah. There's a healthy community of teachers are teaching people to adopt these tools. Okay.
Okay. Bawa topik hari ni, this Sifu AI.
Sure.
Okay. Do you consider yourself a Sifu AI?
People call me, but I don't carry lah. Because I just carry my official co-founder and CEO kan. So I stay with that lah. Kan, but I would say tadi Manisa was mentioning pasal influencer tadi. I would prefer to talk about to be at the KOL, key opinion leader, because my role is to continue to learn. The tools that comes out for Frontier Lab is to identify what comes next, so that our model doesn't become irrelevant lah.
Yeah,
to keep up.
The preference to be a KOL influencer and not so much a Sifu?
Because then I can stay on my lane. I mean, on very specific subtopics of generative AI. Just island lah, because I don't dive into Midjourney, image, video. That's not what I want to focus on.
But it's an interesting observation because I kind of noticed that a lot in my feed as well. We have all these funny videos. Makcik ni kerja di singa, apa lagi? This pakcik-pakcik. Typically Malaysian characters, and they're all in this really surreal scenarios or situations. But because it's AI generated, you
it's
just
possible.
Laugh it out.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what's happening. And the standard line is kalau nak baca about video ni, main lah.
Join
into the class kan. So what does that indicate from apa kata, and as you said, from an adoption point of view, it's good. Do we care about the quality of the adoption? Or do we just, at this stage in the marketing landscape, asal orang cuba? Quality tak quality itu cerita lain.
Yeah. I mean, quality masuk quality tu apa? What defines the quality here?
Because again, going back to whatever movement, whenever people try a tool or adopt a tool, there are good teachers, there are bad teachers.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Sure.
But at this early stage, are we in any position to make a judgment?
Okay, because it's a fresh territory kan, and because there's a lot of content from outside to learn. And as a single person myself, I mean, do I spend my time meeting potential clients or just like absorb all this new information and just try to stay relevant? So we have to pick your lane lah kan. But so after I resign on the fact that okay, I cannot be knowing everything, then I would like create relationships with certain quote unquote Sifu ni lah, just to keep tabs on what they are sharing. Okay? So that means if there is any questions that people ask me that I haven't covered, at least I know at least there's a local person that memang spend the time to belajar Midjourney, to really do prompting dekat VO3. At least we know locally there's some talent lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So but sebenarnya from landscape point of view, we are now at the stage where generative content creation is mainstreaming. Okay, a lot more people are adopting it. Quality is a different issue lah.
Always best. There's always bad apples, kan?
There's always best practices that will emerge, and then you have to be somebody that is tuned. The word that people like to use is whether got taste or no taste lah. Then becomes very subjective kan. Tapi from a practitioner point of view lah, somebody involved in developing the AI landscape in Malaysia, what with your involvement with Kain, etc. What does Kain stand for again?
Konsortium AI Negara.
Konsortium AI Negara.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully cukup kain lah. Kan, baju ni macam tak cukup kain je, yang kelambu dengan
By design.
Kan? By design. Okay. But from your kain punya hat,
Sure.
what is it that they are targeting? What is our target for 2025 and 2026?
Okay. So Kain majority is local builders, application system creators, hardware providers, infrastructure, without the big boys. And mana the usual suspect, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Oracle, they're not in this group. These are all local builders lobbying for local support and adoption. I mean, more projects, bigger projects, smaller projects, you name it. But this is the main task. And to say that we have the builders, we are on the way to build the talent, and that's why Mesolitica, our friend Warren is also doing all this training, capacity building, because walaupun the investment comes from big boys and jadikan X amount of jobs, those jobs are very limited to the data center and whatnot, but it's not enough. That means we need to create upskill talents untuk not just guna, but build applications locally.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's
is it a priority to guna local applications?
That would be the ideal situation, okay. But on the way to that, the businesses that we talk to, they want fast results, kan? So before the local technology matures, nak tak nak, we have to use the foreign tech for now lah.
Okay.
Kan?
So all
pragmatic lah, pragmatic.
Sifu right now, in a way, they are serving your agenda because they are promoting usage,
awareness,
adoption,
sure.
Awareness. Ideally, we can then start to nurture some homegrown apps that can replace all the. But
case in point, macam Cliff lah. Case in point.
Macam Cliff lah, So that's case in point.
The iterative. Yeah.
Is the pipeline? How's the pipeline? Do we have talent? Do we have the pipeline coming through?
The talent for me is I'm betting on the Gen Zs lah. That how I see for my employees and also my volunteers dalam our Malaysia AI volunteers, it's the Gen Zs. Kan? So they are the one that's willing to spend the time with us to learn and understand, and then hope.
Cliff definitely Gen Z lah. The whole entire team is Gen Z.
Correct. Yes, they move fast lah. They move fast, and then there's no, I would say, older generation has their own assumptions going into something, kan? Banyak roadblocks lah, mental roadblocks that kena overcome dulu.
Okay, so that's still happening lah.
Tak lari lah, we can't run away from that.
So this is where I'm going back to the work that you're doing with the Kain and also Mesolitica itself. Your engagement level, is it a lot with the Gen Y or Gen X or higher, or is it with the younger group, Gen Y, Gen Z?
Okay. So for me, in Mesolitica we have three. One is on pure external engagement dengan stakeholders at the policy level. Then we have the engagement dengan decision makers in organisation, either government agencies ataupun enterprise. So this is like a CIO, innovation officer. Then on the research side, this is where my CTO sits in. So it's more on external engagement with AI foreign labs kat luar.
Why I'm asking? Sure. Because I want to understand the current landscape in terms of adoption. Who's driving it? Is it the otai-otai at the boardroom, or is it the talent at the grassroots level that's pushing for adoption by the organizations?
Okay. So even if there is a push from internal for adoption, it won't happen. There will be the old guards in the organization that say we don't have money, we status quo lah, they nak status quo. So early adopters in Malaysia enterprise or public sector comes from the internal champion. So mostly either from the innovation team, or the CIO has the drive, the will untuk push it down with the support of the board lah in this case. Okay? So, but because the board will pressure the C-suite untuk come up, we need our own AI strategy. Macam mana? Who do we need to partner with? How many millions are we ready to spend? Are we ready to upskill our talent? Do we need to find a consultant to come in? So these are all the early because nak kejar what they see outside.
Okay. So where are the early adopters coming from in terms of is it the MNCs, GLCs, or is it from the SMEs, or is it from the startup scene?
Okay. So I will be a bit biased because I don't spend this past 1.5 years. I don't spend time with the SMEs, unfortunately lah, because our personas are so refined that I just focus on the persona yang I want. Okay, the policy level and our partners lah. MNC for sure because they are getting the local office MNC dah terpaksa buat because the HQ is doing. Yeah, it's a HQ kan, so that's a given lah. It's just like by the time they come here, the HQ Malaysian office tak ada buat apa. It's like here's our partner here, AWS ke Microsoft ke, okay, get it done. Itu je kan. For GLIC, okay, so it's between the government agencies and the government linked companies lah. QAP, EPF, so those are the innovators. And then we have the enterprise listed companies, Petronas, and the local banks. Okay, so because they have the money to innovate lah, and then they've always been in this innovation cycle before AI, going through the digital transformation phase.
Alright, so automation. Because they were already on that momentum, so
correct.
AI is just another thing to check.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're doing AI as well.
It keeps the innovation team busy lah.
Okay,
yeah.
Ada lah consultant yang kenyang.
Correct. Kerja tak habis lagi ni baru nak masuk AI kan. That's the tak lari kan macam okay.
So the question is then, which areas are they innovating on? Going back to the AI marketing landscape, which part of the operations has the highest adoption of AI? And my follow-up question to that would be, how do you see the trickle through to the rest of the economy, to the rest of the landscape?
Okay. So at the enterprise level, public sector level, I assume going in that public chatbot for customer support was main pain point lah. Okay? But because the maturity of the chatbots, young people's POC is not satisfied by compliance and governance and whatnot, so most of this chatbot becomes internal chatbot for the organisation lah. So less risk, less public punya security. But on the SME, if I present from my circle of friends, this is the automation that happens on the sales funnel from WhatsApp lah especially kan. A lot of my friends buat WhatsApp integration with their own LLM and try to automate the entire sales channel. Okay, a lot of everybody is like together zone ni and trying to find the differentiation. So I'm just waiting for the moment where one of these local platforms really requires our local model. Because right now, for SME, if you're good with using OpenAI, Gemini, Claude, go ahead, tak ada masalah.
That's a big if too.
Sorry?
That's a big if lah for SMEs to pergi pakai semua tu.
They will find their software house, their kawan yang pandai API, build all this stuff. They will find it within the circle.
But back to my first question.
Yeah.
When the big boys were still, I mean Malaysia is like that lah. We do rely on the big movers to start before
set the stage
the smaller ones will follow through. We're not a bottom-up culture, we're pretty much a top-down culture, whether for good or for bad. So what are the major areas where the bigger boys are innovating in using AI?
After sales. So kalau dalam the cycle just now is the after sale customer support. Mana is to reduce the cost of customer support. Mana do more with less. Mana instead of putting more humans at the call center, at least level 1 is an AI bot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And do you think that is the trajectory is showing positive signs?
Plus minus. So early in my journey in Gen AI, I always start with the Gartner punya report, the hype cycle, Gartner hype cycle. So dalam dia punya use case metrics dalam Gartner punya report tu, call center customer support automation memang is the hottest one. Okay? And then for a very specific sector, which is the banking sector and healthcare and public sector lah. So these are the three main things. Okay. But also today in the world of AI agents, a lot of this POC has been going on to get this off the ground, into production. So some are failing, some are having a tough time going to governance, but it has to. This is the hottest lah because that is the most impact of the bottom line of any organization, customer support.
Okay, alright. So you just mentioned the word agents.
Agents.
Okay. Are you saying now that the next phase is going to be the agentic phase? Or is the agentic phase already here?
Yeah, it's already here. So for Mesolitica point of view, we started to talk about AI agents last year, April. So we knew it was coming lah. And then when roll in January 2025, I've seen a lot of people talking about it. And before 2025, locally, the only people who was talking about agents was our good friend lah, Zach from Tech. So that's why we partner with them. Okay? But now everybody's talking, everybody's saying that we're building all the big platforms, other than agent platforms, all SaaS platform akan kata, yes, now we have our agents. You pergi kat Zapier, you pergi kat HubSpot, they will promote their agents. Okay? And everybody, right now, probably they will subscribe to an agent platform. But I really believe that you should be able to nurture a Gen Z, and it has to be a Gen Z young talent, to build your own agents internally. Okay? So there's a lot of open source software yang boleh buat, and one of the key courses yang kita roll out is actually to help people to do internal development. Okay? With open source punya platforms lah. Obviously kita akan upsell malam punya model, but just to get the ball rolling is to build your own agentic workflow. Then once you are comfortable building that, then you baru slowly move to what we call true AI agents.
Okay. What is agentic ni? Terus masuk cerita.
Sorry, okay, boleh. Kita ghostan lah, kita boleh ghostan, no problem. Okay, so in my calculus on when people just drop agentic, so it's the bigger, so kita start dengan generative AI lah. So this like 2 years ago punya big topic kan. Then from there, 2025, I call this agentic AI. So this is the big topic. Maknanya using AI to automate tasks using LLMs. Kan? Okay, so under this agentic AI, I pecahkan kepada dua. One is agentic workflow, and the other one is AI agents. So now sounds almost the same, but very distinctive lah. Okay, so under agentic workflow, this is just a new name of what we used to call RPA, Robotic Process Automation, where the entire business process that you automate digitally, it is designed rigidly by the human. Maksudnya setiap step tu human design based on SOP document, ISO document that you already have. Just like you digitize and then you automate sequentially lah. Okay, daripada awal ke mula with. If there is any LLM element, it is very low stakes low risk, just like content creation, summarization, and the like. Okay. But then when you use the LLM to decide certain decision, you hit one business process, then the LLM, you ask the LLM to evaluate, okay, score 1 to 5 on this content. Kalau bawah 3, you go to this branch, this task. Kalau dia atas, you escalate to a human, for example. So this is, you give more autonomy to the AI to decide on your behalf.
Okay, so let's say if you're going back to SMEs lah, being our main audience,
okay.
Because if you talk about the big companies, they have a lot of resources, there are a lot of SOPs in place. So for them to kind of shift to they're already automated to a certain extent. Sure. So now it's being agentic automated. So it seems to be a natural step.
Agentic workflows, yes, okay. Betul.
But if you talk about SMEs,
an obvious step lah.
Okay,
obvious
it's
step.
very obvious to them.
Very obvious.
But when you talk about SMEs, it's not obvious to us. There's a lot of things that we still do manually. There's a lot of things that rely on staff to do, or maybe even the founder is doing. And while the generative trend. People are adopting pretty quickly, as we said, with all these seafoods and all that coming up. But the agentic ni, I think we're still very new, right?
Yep.
For the
SMEs.
They tak faham lagi, they're still trying to even generative pun still trying to
to catch up. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think is going to be the next step for SMEs to really be seen as an AI native? Yeah. What do they need to embrace and adopt maybe?
Okay, so for SME specifically, before they like, dia kata macam, oh shit, we need to have our own agentic kan. So instead of straight away building that workflow in a certain platform, Zapier, Make or NAN, very specific platforms, they continue to use the tools. Ultimately for one business automation, one business process for certain marketing or campaigns, you would use you individually or your team will use multiple tools. So you continue to do that lah, kan? With the mind of improving the AI output dari segi quality ataupun quantity, then understanding from A to Z what are the costs involved. Okay, so once we have that, then if you debate dengan you punya finance team, kata okay, we spend X amount untuk dapatkan to use these AI tools, but we improve the ROI, very specific metrics. Okay, so after you have all that, then you decide, okay, do we want to really automate 100% ke, or do we just like continue to improve on the tool usage our own?
Okay, so we're running into our last 5 minutes.
Sure.
I do hope we have some questions, so just please stand by with people in the audience. But I want to kind of wrap it up with this thought, because we started off straight away talking about AI and how things can go viral and etc. And then we shifted to the phases of AI adoption in Malaysia, generative and now possibly agentic, but in Malaysia being a very top down. I want to kind of wrap it up now with a little bit, because we assume that using AI is good.
Okay.
Hardly you find anybody saying, hey, be careful, hey, there's danger, or hey, you know. So as a practitioner, which camp are you? I mean, obviously you want people to adopt AI.
Obviously I'm biased, but because I always get this kind of question, so I have formed, I would say, a pragmatic approach to this lah. Kan, we have to safeguard kan the humanity of what we do. Ataupun a more crude way to say that, in the next 5 years, is humanity still relevant or not? That's a very big question lah. Kan, but okay, how do we not go down a dystopia in future? Is to talk about all this guardrail, safety, job displacement early on, because this is what the West are talking about. Kan? Of course, kalau if we're talking about AI safety dekat Malaysia, dia lebih pada macam how do we safeguard our language, our cultural, our religious belief, kan, so that the AI daripada West ni tak seep through the biases into Malaysia. So it's like a high level, but at the individual level, what do we lose if we really rely on AI tools? Kan? So across the board, definitely cognitive decline tu akan ada lah, because we are like giving away the thinking process yang kita selalu buat critical thinking ni kepada AI, kan. So we need to be conscious about it, and then have some defense lah against this.
To remember always that AI is a tool.
Sure.
Okay, so while the intelligence may be artificial, but what still matters to every person that uses AI is that in you also have AI, which I call authentic ihsan.
Authentic ihsan.
Authentic ihsan in you has to control the AI and not the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll wrap up by any questions? Maybe we have room for maybe 1 or 2. Okay. Yes,
Paris.
Yeah. So I'm a designer, so I'm working in the creative industry. Right? So to be honest, I'm feeling a bit of anxious when facing this phase in our time where there's this new generative AI, also agentic AI, where it kind of brings that kind of threat to the creative industry, because yes, people may say that AI can't replace human souls and all kinds of stuff, but the company's objective is to minimize the cost and maximize the profit. So they will go for they don't have to hire really professional designers to have the output that they want. They just kind of prompt in what they want in the AI apps, and it will generate more outcomes in cheaper cost and faster time.
Turnaround.
Yeah. So how do you see the creative industry moving forward? What is your thoughts on that?
we both might have different thoughts.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Khalil first.
So this one would be because it's happening so fast kan, so kita might see shift in the industry and acceptance lah. Because from the creative punya point of view, early on you will see people yang betul-betul defensive that AI is going to take their job and whatnot kan. But then slowly you will see creatives that harness the AI tool and then leveling up dia punya output into quality lah. And then because of this level up in quality, it probably open up the open doors lah. Okay. So I think one anecdote story was, I think this creator using, I think Midjourney and a couple of they turned the what's that local movie into Lego punya trailer kan. So it was using it was a gangster movie, but then the Lego fight kan. So it was nice lah kan. But using as a single team, they were able to do it with Midjourney tool. So this kind of creative punya coordination lah. Okay? So now with VO3, which is short videos with audio, unleash more creativity. So every feature update of any of these creative tools ni, kita akan your job is to keep an eye on what's interesting and try to adopt to your workflow, and then probably that is a content lah kan, that you can push out that, oh, I'm experimenting on this kan. So then people can notice that you are you're at the edge of the bleeding edge of technology. Then when the customer ada idea, you can just straight away execute the idea without experimenting kan.
Slightly different take on my part, because being in the cricket industry as well, where again it's a tool. So like I said, you got to start learning how to use it to increase your productivity in terms of time, in terms of cost, reducing the cost, reducing time. But what I would also say, which I'm very hopeful, is that when you have tools that allow very fast execution, then everybody becomes same. So then it's the creativity that stands out. Who has the original idea? Who has the original storyline? I mean, we've seen tons of Hollywood movies, CGI lupa, tapi story hampir. You know, is the originality that will surface. We all went through the whole Ghiblify meme. I didn't do it because I really felt bad when the old man was complaining that, this is really horrible, people are commoditizing my art. But then when I looked at everybody's output, it's just them, the cartoon character, and you watch any Ghibli movie, is the characters, the world building, the storyline, the emotion, the emotional investment that you have on the characters. That is what makes Ghibli. It's not the style.
Maknanya there's from the original there's still depth and substance.
You will always need that
because of the
human
creative.
beings.
Sure.
Our creativity will always be driving humanity. These are just tools.
Yeah, on that note, in this case of this, like you're using the tools to execute faster, but you as a human, the creative here is to continue to add another dimension to the presentation lah for the customers kan.
And from a brand positioning point of view, it allows me to focus on clients that want originality and willing to pay for it. Those yang nak quick, cheap pakai AI, package lain. Then you can quickly segmentize the audience as well. Alright? Very good question. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we'll wrap it up for now. So Khalil, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For conversation. Super unstructured. I hope the audience got a lot of benefit out of it. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.